75% increase in net charge-offs.
Helicopter, great call on the AutoNation and SAH play. You were just mentioning, I got in late to the call, that company that was giving car loans and might do bad. Could you say ticker and what play you're looking at in that and for that company?
Well, there are two plays for the heavy car loans that are bad credit wise. One is Capital One Auto Finance, or Capital One Finance. It's C as in Charlie, O as in Oscar, F as in Frank. They're also a bank too. You see their commercials, Capital One Bank, but a lot of their business is the car loans, and they do. I'll get the exact number for everybody tomorrow, but they don't report till next Thursday, and I expect a rebound from their sympathy loss yesterday. They lost 5% like everybody else in the auto retail and auto financing lines. Everybody lost at least 5%. My big gainer yesterday was Credit Acceptance Corporation, which I mentioned before. C as in Charlie, A as in Apple, C as in Charlie, C as in Charlie. They lost about 30 points yesterday from 450. I see them by the time they report earnings on Monday, October 31st. I see this as possibly it's an expensive put, but I see them going down to probably, if I had to guess, I'm betting they're going down to around the 375 to 350 level.
Cool, man. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Nice. While we're going off that, I just wanted to update everyone on the Carvana play. I do see the open interest on this Carvana play, so I know at least maybe one of you degenerates also got in on it, in addition to myself. But there's not a lot of open interest. So I mean, it's maybe one person, maybe two. But if you bought when I first mentioned the play on Monday, yesterday we were up almost 100% on those puts. Just to like full transparency, I exited out a part of my position. He's not going to take profit on what is nearly a double. So I exited part of my position. I'm still in. But the only time I'm going to add puts is, again, Carvana sometimes goes up 10, 15, sometimes even 20% on the day. I'm going to wait for another one of those really green days at some point in the next, couple weeks, and probably double down on those February and April puts when it's really green. So just keeping an eye on Carvana. It's my personal opinion that they're going to zero, or at least... No, I think they're probably going to zero if the bottom drops out of the used auto market.
What strikes you looking at, Scald?
I'm looking at $5 puts on February 2023 and April 2023. I was snagging them at 36 cents. They spiked up yesterday. I was able to clear some off at 40. And I was able to clear some off at 50 on the bid-ask spread today on those puts. But again, bought in at a lower price. I'm not saying now is a good price and execution on it. I'm just saying keep an eye out, and if the thing goes green, maybe that's time to buy puts.
I have Friday ones for today for the 220. I wouldn't recommend those because they're very pricey now, and I see at least a maybe 4 or 5 point drop, not paying off. But the November 4th, the reason why I chose that is that gives it time to stew on the earnings and the thought of keeping shares that are possibly declining into the 160 area. But the reason why the November 4th is there, I'm still playing the scaredness for the November 2nd rate increase.
Nice. Anybody else got something out there today?
Gosh, I hope that's not all the plays.
It does look like the AIG is recovering from a double bottom. Looks like it's getting ready to trade in the channel.
So I guess Tesla had bad earnings. Is there any other big news that's supposed to be coming out today or later on this week?
Well, Blackstone reported this morning. Earnings per share were $1.06. 99 cents was expected. So the housing market looks like it's doing pretty well for them. I guess they made most of their money on fuel-related costs. Unemployment numbers are down 12,000 this week, going the opposite way the Fed wants.
AT&T beat earnings this morning.
Didn't just to go back on Blackstone, didn't they drop? Didn't their earnings fall like 16% due to the asset sales decline?
That I didn't catch. I believe they're up pre-market though. Let me double check that.
Yeah, they
So
are.
the last time we had a lower than expected unemployment numbers, the market took a tumble. Do we think that's going to happen again today?
Seems to be trending that direction. Dow went from up, I think 1.25 to now it's like flat, plus 11.
So if the trend continues, I might be looking at SPY zero DT calls, but I might actually buy them at 3:55 p.m. today if the market trends down, and just basically gamble on the fact that SPY is going to go green on Friday, and see what happens if it's another red day. And the reason is because of the feels. I just feel it. Yeah, feels.
Nice. The old Feels DD. Did you play those 365 puts yesterday?
I did. It was a wild ride, man. Down 65% and then up. I ended up clearing out at 30% profit. Man, if I could get that every day, I'd be richer than Bezos. But I know some people held. It eventually ended up 300%. I know that some people took profit at 50% up. I don't know if anybody held and made that 100% gain. But it was a wild ride in the morning, I'll tell you that much.
Almost like gambling.
Yeah, we did it with friends, though. 3 of us together. We had each other for comfort while we were down.
Hold hands and jump off the building. I love it.
Good morning, all. I just want to say the dollar is trending up in free market combined with the jobs numbers. We could be looking at a fairly bearish day if the dollar continues to rise into the open. Keep your eye on that for a rug pull.
So back to the UK just for a second on the other side of the pond. Do we know how long the absentee will be for the what do they call it? The dictator over there?
Do you mean
You're asking how long it's going to be before they get a new prime minister?
Yeah, I couldn't find the word. Sorry. Thank you, Prime Minister.
I gotta play. Yesterday somebody brought up OLPX, Olaplex Holdings, and that's because they had a really big dip overnight after hours because some news came out about them. I don't know. I think the guy that talked about it was wrong actually, but it doesn't matter. I bought puts anyway, and I have 200% returns right now.
Yeah, they had a chemical. I wasn't the guy that brought it up. They had a chemical called bophenol methylphenol. It trades under the name Lilic, and it was a fragrance that they added. And the European Union is saying that this particular chemical causes infertility. So wash your hair, can't have babies. But what's interesting to me is that guy was talking about that news like it just broke, and that news initially broke like 2 months ago. But so there's got to be another catalyst that's happened here on that thing. I mean, it was what, down almost 50% by the end of the day. And there's got to be something else that happened that maybe it was a ruling that's banned. I do know that there was some news that came out that they're doing a product recall, which I think that's like one of their only product lines. So that's pretty bad for the company.
Okay. Yeah, I was wondering why because I couldn't find anything in the news about his specific reason, that chemical. Um, but yeah, if it came out just a couple months ago, then that's why. But yeah, I got 200% returns on that. I'm pretty happy about that.
Banging. Anybody else? Otter, what you got this morning? Welcome.
Hey guys, so I'm on the sub for the first time. Are you guys taking questions about investing?
What's the question?
So this is the first time I've made my salary. So I was like looking for tips on how to research and how to invest.
Yeah, that may be too general for this crowd. We're a little bit more cutthroat, but feel free to listen in and learn.
I'll drop a link in the comments here for a YouTube channel. That's a great sort of introduction for anybody who's just getting started. It's a guy who does market recaps every day, and he's very solid and will sort of give you the eyes you need to see and the ears you need to hear. So keep an eye for that link below.
I don't
Thanks,
know if
man.
opinion will ban
Thank
me
you.
for this, but there is our finance and our investing that actually focuses on investing here. We're degenerate gambling on the stock market. So,
And I strongly suggest you avoid options if you are just starting. Pretend they don't exist for your own sake.
I would
I
disagree
don't
with
even
that
know what that
statement.
is.
I would disagree. Options are your friend, but I digress.
Options are fun.
I got a play on Coinbase. They interviewed me, and it's going well, so I'm bearish on them. No, I'm kidding. I am looking at trying to get into Coinbase. I think they're still a little bit overpriced. Anything below $60, and I look to start buying calls, long dated. So I had previously done this play in March of this year, and I had mentioned it on the talk in March. If they trend down and break below 60, I'm going to look to start buying calls again on them, yet again long dated. I do think in the long run, Coinbase is going to survive this and go up.
But
So in the
shorting.
meantime, are you still looking at puts, or is it close enough where you don't feel like it'd be worth it to go for puts?
I don't have puts. I don't have a position on it right now. It's on my watch list. If it breaks below 60, I'm going to start buying calls long dated.
You guys recommend keeping Apple or selling Apple at this moment?
Well, if we are diving deeper into a recession, I feel like Apple's probably going to slide down a bit more. So you might sell and then load up when it bottoms out.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks.
Yeah, but we don't know what your average is or any other details, how many shares you have, and so forth. So it's kind of hard and more of a general question.
Even I don't know.
Exactly, you're fucking retarded.
So I just want to say that Apple's really bought in on the innovation side. So I feel like it's a forward play more than a backwards play on their performance. And that's just my 2 cents. It's kind of like a Tesla, essentially. And if we're going to keep the S&P 500 up, Apple's got to kind of stay up, as well as Microsoft. I did some research in China as well. I didn't like literally go there. I've just been looking around, poking around at some, I guess you would say, pension plans, as they're called in America. And I noticed that a lot of them are buying the top 50 technology stocks right now. So Microsoft, Apple, etc. And those are just rolling out this month. So I'm not really sure if that will help or take away, but it's something to keep in mind.
So these are Chinese investing pensions buying technology stocks here in the U.S.
That's correct. Because obviously people want to grow their money, and so they transfer the yuan from Hong Kong, and then from Hong Kong to America, and that's how they move their money. But yeah, I mean, why not?
All right. I invited Otter's word earlier. Can we circle back to Otter? Otter, good morning. What you got? It's the mic button in the middle of the screen. All right. How about Luckstar? What you got?
I got
So
rig.
if we're in a bubble and we all believe we're in a recession and the economy's going to crash, I think we should all buy SPY puts once they pump the market before elections. I think 330 is a safe level. I'd say 6 months out to play it safe.
330 puts 6 months out. Heard.
But you have to buy it on the rally close to elections.
I like puts on England.
Is this like
Puts on-
Rockstar's mid account?
Who?
I got a play that's pretty degenerate. I bought a couple of these yesterday. So it's a ticker called Wish, WISH, Context Logic. Think of them as like a garbage dump that sells things on the internet. And looking at these guys, they're 2025 50-cent call options. Again, this is for 2025, so many years out.
Aren't their market cap pretty low?
They are at $501 million. They are 1 million over the market cap. So the 2025 calls are only 57 cents a piece. The 50-cent calls are only 57 cents a piece. So, I mean, what's the worst that happens? It literally goes to zero? Okay. But, I just bought a few of them because they're just so dirt cheap. And I did that yesterday.
You saying the whole contract was 57 cents?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, in reality, it will go to zero. It's fucking Wish. At the end of the day, I've played it too many times. I don't see a major rally. But good luck on that play.
Yeah, it's probably going to get delisted, but it's just cheap lotto ticket.
Also, I will say that those contracts have like zero volume, so good luck getting those off if you want to.
Yeah, good luck trying to clear them.
Hey, there was 12 volume yesterday. I was some of that.
And I'm sorry to interrupt you, but they're not 50 cents. They're $50. Right now, I'm looking at it. It's 0.50, so.
Yes, we multiply by 100, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Luckstar, what you got? You ready? You got your coffee? What's going
You mind if I hop in real fast?
Go ahead. Luckstar sleeping.
All right. I've been up all night. I've been doing a lot of research on TCDA. It's like a biopharmaceutical kidney medications going up for, I think they're unblinding their trials soon. And I know we like to gamble here on WallStreetBets, but I was doing I was selling put options, and I have the $5 puts expiring tomorrow.
Run that ticker by me again.
TCDA. Ticida, I think.
Is that TCDA?
Yes.
Okay, how much?
I'm currently in for negative 13 contracts at $24 a piece at the $5 put. So I'm down like 100% right now. But the theta decay on these things is literally like the IV is like in the 900s. So they're going to get crushed. But that's like my play that I'm kind of sitting on today.
What month are you at?
10/21, 2 days, bud.
Roger that.
So, I mean, I'm just, as long as the price doesn't go down to, I think my break even was like 496, and that's like 55% of the price. The problem is when they announce their study, if it's.
Yeah, the volume and interest is huge on that strike.
Yeah.
Does anyone remember the short ETF for the UK?
Was it FXE or FXB?
And you could also buy puts for FTSE, correct?
Yeah, you could also buy puts on WU. WU is London company.
One more note: the yen is in trouble this morning. $2 get you 3 yen for the first time since 1990. Said this morning.
Holy
So,
fuck! This. Wow.
Yen.
All right. So
I'm waiting for it to go to $1.
Okay. So, anyways, I just want to say puts on Snap $8 for Friday. It's a real grab, but they're cheap.
So that's the earnings are today, is that right?
Yeah. If you're against them, it's everybody's for them. It's fuck everybody's on the fucking calls. Like you can't fucking buy anything cheap. Just buy the 8s, right? For Friday, fucking just dump them tomorrow. You know what I mean? Tomorrow morning, boom, gone. Get out. Have your sell order and fucking as soon as you buy them.
What's up, Rockstar?
Fucking nothing. I have a feeling. Okay, so like everybody else has a feeling that they're gonna do good, but they're shit. But they're shit.
Puts on Snap. Moving on.
I will say, I forgot to mention, sorry to cut you off, with the TCDA earlier. In November, I think they're announcing results, and that's probably why the premiums are so high. So just be aware that if you are trying to find a position in selling cash secured puts or covered calls, there's a binary event coming up, so it could send the stock plummeting. I wouldn't touch November because that's when they're supposed to be announcing their results. So just a heads up, guys.
Put action in November is huge on at the money and down.
Yeah, just be aware that there's a binary event coming. If you choose to play it, maybe only have your position open for a couple days and just take profits before they announce because,
I gotta play. Dice Therapeutics, October 11th. They shot up 100%. And usually whenever I see somebody jump up over like 75%, I'll buy some short puts. And they've started to go down, and I'm gonna keep holding and just buy more puts. I have no idea what they are or what they do. I just like it.
Centaur Astrology. All right, appreciate it.
All right, so I've got a play as well. It's for Brinks Company. So its base ticker is BCO. This is the security company and cash management company. It's operating in about 100 different countries right now, but with the current prospect of recession and kind of global instability, I think these security companies are in a really good position to benefit from that. Brinks had about 10% growth in the last quarter. They are on track in terms of their yearly outlook on how they should have been doing. So their guidance that they gave at the beginning of the year is holding through. They just jumped up a bit. They're down at like 57 right now. So my play is November 18th, $65 calls. I think they're going to have a really good earnings call on the 26th.
Didn't they have a robbery earlier this year?
I mean, they have robberies all the time. It's Brinks.
It wasn't me.
I know it wasn't you because you're still here.
I've seen two separate Brinks robbery reports within the past month, or attempted robberies, shall I say. That's not including the major heist of like $200 million worth of jewels that they lost 6 months ago.
You know what, boys?
I was
rocks. Listening to the side of it, and this is the best. No, how should I say it? So this is the real Wall Street bet talk. All the plays today were actual bets. I'm proud of you, boys. There wasn't a single coherent thing that was said, but the bets are out there and they're crazy.
We don't like to pigeonhole ourselves to coherence around here.
Calls on
You're welcome, Simple.
I was wondering, Yang, which is the China ETF bear ETF, and since we're Asia's a day ahead of the U.S. market, I would assume that these plays are only good for today. Can anyone correct me on that?
The Yang play is good until they announce GDP and the other economic indicators,
which they didn't announce.
I've got a play that I'd like to mention.
Go ahead.
Okay, it is TSM, Taiwan Semiconductors. They're building a plant outside of Phoenix, very big one.
Yo, 8, can you talk to your mic?
Yeah, you sound like you have a bag over your head.
Sounds like the teacher in Charlie Brown.
Okay, so is this better?
Do you operate a Brinks truck?
No, it really isn't.
Okay, can you hear me better then? Now?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Okay, so Taiwan Semiconductor, okay, being held down in the $60, $64, $63 range, mostly from political stress. Nancy Pelosi visits the area. China wants to, flex their muscles, but it's not really affecting the bottom line of the company. It's just being politically held down. There's a political risk.
So what's your play?
However, it is neither a call nor a put, but it's an establishment of what the range and essentially what the bottom has to be because of how well the company is doing. It is the best nano technology chip manufacturer out there, and it's being subsidized.
So it's not a call or a put.
Are you buying shares?
No.
So what are we doing?
Neither.
Are we looking
Strangles,
for?
straddles, iron condors?
No, I wouldn't strangle it. No, I would just trade the range. However, there is it's longer term, and there's still betting involved. There's still profits involved. This company is being subsidized by both the United States and Japan. The likelihood for the bottom to fall out is just not there. It's already gone low. So just trade the range.
So basically, boomer play.
Hold up. So, do you understand what type of chips are being manufactured in facilities outside of Taiwan? What nanometer? Or what technologies are being used?
5 to 7 nanometers.
So the 5 to 7 nanometer plants are exclusively in Taiwan. They're never going to leave Taiwan because that's the only place in the world that can produce it. The plants that are going up in the US and Japan are slated for the more commodity chips in the 15 to 20 nanometer range to free up capacity in the 5 to 7. On top of that, the production from all facilities at TSM are already booked in advance. Now, with the sale of Apple's iPhone being less than expected, there's a chance that the extremely valuable, I think it's 2 to 5 nanometer chips will have fabs will have capacity for competitors, but and they'll probably sell for a premium, but it's not for a meaningful amount of TSM's revenue. So knowing that, where does your range fall at educational?
My range would fall right at 60. If you were the CEO, if you ran Taiwan Semiconductor, where would you want to make your new nanometer chips? Regardless of what the plants were designed to produce, you'd want to get them away from the mainland of China. It's just good business.
It's terrible business if I give the technology to the US because they can take it away from me and call it a state secret as the CEO of Taiwan Semiconductor.
And being right next to the mainland of China would be better?
If the US is willing to defend the country, yes. Also, keep in mind, manufacturing these chips is not quite as simple as flipping a switch and letting the machine run. There is legitimate expertise that's required to make sure that the yield, the percentage of the wafer that is usable, is as high as possible. And those folks will not be able to get US visas.
I agree. Having the factory in Taiwan is one hell of a bargaining chip. Sorry, I had to do that. But
Yeah, I think that was a very political DD, but nonetheless, thanks Hardy for the insight over that political DD that he made for us. It was really insightful for me. I think I'm going to go look at TMC now.
Somebody sent me a message that aided educational is a Alzheimer grandpa, Michael Burry, in his 80s. I think that's your new player.
I think we've done enough. Thank you for sharing at educational, and I think everyone has the information they need to make an informed decision. What other plays do we have?
So before we get back to plays, can we talk about Tesla earnings yesterday and forecasting? Any opinions on that?
I had a question about that. Just really curious why people think that the earnings were bad. I mean, you read through, I don't see really anything all that negative. They're going to buy back shares. He says their valuation is going to be, this is Elon Musk, is going to be on par with Apple one day. They're 50% annual growth every year. They're buying, they're buying back shares next year. What exactly is everybody seeing that's bad about it?
What was the forward guidance?
I don't know, to be honest.
Not 50% growth.
Well, aside from that, yeah.
If I may, Elon always says they're going to buy back shares. The board has not approved any share buyback.
I've been following Tesla for years. I've never heard him mention buying back shares personally. No, I'm not an expert, but I've been following for a while.
They missed earnings. They missed revenue. The earnings per share was up, but to me, that's always accounting. It's not growing at the pace they thought they would grow, and that's why the stock price is falling.
Earnings were $1.05 versus 99 cents expected. Revenue was short. It was 21.45 versus 21.96 billion.
When you subtract the sold tax credits, what does earnings fall to?
The tax credits I saw was not a lot, but
my understanding is it came out to 17 cents a share. So basically, it was accounting trickery in order to beat expectations.
Including slowing growth and a dwindling financial stability.
It says Tesla's automotive regulatory credits made up 1.5% of automotive revenues at $286 million for the quarter, which is a very small percentage, obviously.
That was a good call on that accounting trick they're doing, because if you remember correctly, they did this same thing when they had earnings and said, oh, a lot of this revenue loss was due to the fact that the tax credit was expired. So quite interesting they're doing the inverse.
Do I have a chance to speak?
I realize it's not everything is expected, but I just don't see what's bad about it. They can't make enough vehicles. I'm trying to get some insight on what's bad about it. Personally, I hold quite a few shares of Tesla. I do covered calls, to try to get some money in, and it works pretty well. But I just don't see what's bad about it.
I think it might be a question of how is it good relative to where people anticipated Tesla to be at this point. I think a lot of people who bought into Tesla thought they had a much larger moat in terms of how many other major manufacturers would be operating in the market by the time Tesla actually scaled its operations up. And there are actually a lot of other major manufacturers who are now participating in that EV market on a competitive scale. So Tesla really needed to come out with some really good news. And instead, what they came out with is kind of lackluster midline guidance. And that's not good enough to support a big growth valuation on a company that's already overpriced. I mean, price to book value for Tesla, I still think is like much higher than most auto manufacturers. Their PE ratio is also like ridiculously higher than most of the S&P 500. So I just think that, again, it's not really a question of was it good or bad guidance. It's was it good or bad guidance relative to where they need to be to justify their valuation.
Yeah, and on the earnings call, they mentioned, that
Do I
they were
have a
having
chance to
delivery
speak
challenges.
as well? No. Oh yeah. All right. This about Tesla.
Go forward, Lord. You may speak.
Yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate it. So, in regards to Tesla, an hour before the earning, I saw the freaking Elon Musk's tweet saying, "Hey, I'm not gonna let you down." So it was kind of an indicator saying that okay, there might be some bad news, but now I was listening to his earning calls. He literally said that Tesla will be $5 trillion in the next 5 to 20 years, 5 to 10 years, I think, combined with all the EV sector. So this is an indication of a positive catalyst. Right. In the macroeconomics, things might be down, but in long term, he said it himself. I don't think so if he's going to damage his credibility. Thank you so much.
He
So
said
Tesla
nothing.
said he was going to buy
Hey,
Twitter, and then he said he wasn't going to buy Twitter.
Who's buying?
Boys, come on. You're
So,
trying to say something.
as a counterpoint to all the Tesla bulls, Tesla's current market share of US EV sales year to date is 53%. The next highest is Chevy at 9.8%, and it goes down from there. How is Tesla going to fend off the encroachment of its market share?
I can tell you
Because
how.
yes,
They
it's true.
won't.
Hold on.
They're gonna go
Hold
to
on.
zero.
Can someone put Goober back down, please? How U.S. EV market share is growing at some factor, let's say 10%. Of each new 10% chunk that appears, what percentage of that chunk is Tesla taking versus any of their competitors? If it's still around 53%, bullish for Tesla. But my understanding is that with each new incremental chunk of EV market that exists in the US, Tesla is taking a smaller and smaller percent of that, which is what's led to their jump down.
Yeah, that's
Anyone
just
they
offer
opinion.
alternate
still-
data?
We're into
Is it
opinion now.
premature?
Wait, boys. Let the man answer. So, Lord, did he leave or somebody kicked him? I think he left. You scared him, Hardy.
I just wanted to say, is it premature? And I'm going to keep this a real simple sentence. Is it too premature to even suggest any of this market share that Tesla or Chevy or Ford or anyone else owns right now, due to the fact that we're all in a recession?
Well, if we are in a recession, the US EV market will contract, right? But some people are trying to draw relationships to Apple or draw parallels to Apple and its growth. Apple iPhone was considered a luxury, desirable status symbol type item. Tesla doesn't really have the status symbol shine that it used to have. So I'm trying to understand what other catalysts or what other parallels.
I wouldn't bet on that. I wouldn't bet on that, Hardy.
Hold up.
I say leases.
What other parallels to Apple that exist that are maybe not as strong as expected or anticipated?
From my standpoint is I don't see how any other EV manufacturer, Ford, GM, any of these companies are going to make anything comparable. When you look at Apple, I don't consider any other phone personally and we're actually buying a Tesla tomorrow. But I just don't think that if you look around at them, I don't think that any other EV company. I mean, I've had a Ford truck. How can I trust? They couldn't make an internal combustion engine truck work very well. How can I trust them to make an EV personally? So that's just from my standpoint as a consumer.
Comments.
I like the Cadillac.
Comments. Is Tesla a luxury brand like Apple? Let's see what people have to say. I think
I think
status
so,
symbol, not luxury brand.
Status symbol. Yeah, status symbol. Yeah. Even better.
Yeah.
We have Tesla
You're
Tops.
talking about a well-made vehicle that we're not considering anything else, and it is partly status, but there's not a second one that I would like to own personally.
Yeah, but I think they're very generic, if you ask me, where they are around here. But that's my opinion.
We have Tesla yellow cabs in New York City.
Can you guys hear me?
Hold on. With Tesla, like maybe they're not going to be able to affect or protect their market share, but there's still the potential of market growth overall. So even if there's not, they lose some of their market
Weeb, are you
share.
drowning?
It's probably my hoodie.
That's my point, Weeb. So suppose the market is 100 units, right? The market will grow by 10 units in next year. Of those 10 new units, what percentage will go to Tesla versus not Tesla?
You should also consider
the market's
that
growing faster. It's growing like 100 to 100.
Fine. Either way, what percentage of the new market, the unclaimed market, will go to Tesla versus not Tesla?
Whatever they can build. If they can build it, they can sell it.
I disagree.
They can't make them fast enough. We actually ordered one a couple months ago, and it's delivered. Supposed to be delivered December. We're buying a different one. They can't make them fast enough right now. Like they just cannot make them fast enough.
That's true.
He's got margin. He can make them cheaper. He can drop
It's
the price.
true, but
like
you know
Amazon.
what? If they can make it, he can make it. They can copy.
So what's the play?
If I may explain the bull thesis on Tesla, this guy just came up and said that they're going to have a $5 trillion market cap. So basically, Elon Musk said that they're going to be 10% of the entire U.S. stock market capitalization in a couple of years. And some of their investors think that's reasonable. If this guy said he was building a hyper bridge over Brooklyn, people would be lining up to buy it. So there's some irrationality around Tesla. And while I do think it's overvalued, I don't want to just say that I can't just say that irrationality is worthless, because if people are going to buy whatever he sells, man, that's still valuable.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah,
ton
but
of
the guy
rebates
also said that Elon is not gonna lie and he's not gonna damage his reputation. So, yeah, let's not value his input too much.
He also said he was going to buy Twitter, and then he said, "No, I'm not going to buy Twitter," and then he's like, "Fine, I'll buy Twitter."
Leopard, you were trying to say something. Leopard, you were trying to say something. Go ahead.
You talking to me?
Yeah, you were trying to say something. We cut you off 2 times.
I'm sorry, I forgot what I was going to say, but let me remember. So, the EV market is full of. It's going to be full of rebates, full of every country's mandating it. He's going to be able to. He's got a lot of margin, so he could drop the price, and a lot of innovation. So, like his next battery is going to be the EVs, because they can't get a Tesla, so they're buying another EV. So it should be interesting.
Yeah, like a Fisker.
One thing I'd like to chip in real quick here is I haven't heard anybody talk about the fact that Tesla makes batteries for houses as well, home power systems to be off grid. And I don't know what percentage of their business that is, but I know they're churning out batteries and solar panels as well as vehicles.
They're losing money on their solar business.
It's small, but I think last earnings showed a small profit. But it's supposed to explode. It's supposed to really grow. Like Generac is down because of competition from Enphase, and I assume the Tesla Powerwall.
And cooler.
Yeah, that sector grew. All of them grew last earnings. And then the other thing that I see in their earnings is maintain profit margins at 27.9% exactly. I don't know they're a company that's making those kind of profit margins and keeping it. Again, I'm just trying to understand what people see as bad about the earnings. That's all that I'm trying to see.
My point is that is already priced in to the share price. People are getting emotional about the company, loving the company, and that's good. You can do that, hold, and over the long term, I'm bullish. In a couple of years, hopefully they're doing all the things you say they're going to do. The problem is right now, the financial statements don't show it, and that means I'm short-term bearish, which is why I had Tesla puts for this Friday and for November 4th.
Nice.
Our boy Helicopter
I want
is
to
in a
be
morgue.
at that empty warehouse, buddy.
Bathroom or
420 funding. You raise your hand.
I got to play.
Go ahead. Yeah, let's go circle back to players. Got about 5 minutes left. Thank you.
I threw it in the comments. Puts Whirlpool. Their earnings are into the day today. 120 strike expiring 10/28. They have a severe backlog of products. There's like a back order, weeks, maybe months long. So do that. And when it comes to Teslas and electric cars, don't forget about infrastructure. That's a huge thing. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Quick play, possibly a put scalp on FCX, ticker FCX, Freeport McMoran. They just missed on earnings this morning pre-market. It hasn't moved too much since then. Actually, it's up a little bit, which I can't understand. But I'm thinking puts it open as the headwinds for metals are not good. So I'm thinking puts it open and then closing that position by the end of the day.
Say FSX or FEX, sorry.
FCX, that would be Frito, Charlie, Xanadu.
Little in and out. We like it. Next.
Rig, RIG, Transocean, Jan 20, 550s, 12 cents, I think. I would just try to. Yeah. Buys, put, or calls. Sorry. Calls on those. At 12.
I got an IV play. I'm playing TCDA for the last they won 17%, and I think 10%.
We're losing you.
Yeah,
the Autobots are attacking. Can you put
420.
your play in the comments?
Yeah, please do. Thanks, Simple. Your audio's bad, 420, sorry. Anybody else? We got about 3.5 minutes to go.
SPY puts, November 4th. GG's.
SPY puts before the election. Ballsy.
Calls on pineapples.
Dole gang.
I'm going for Nestle calls today.
I'm just going to update everybody because I sold half of my Lithia, both the October 21st and the November 18th puts yesterday. They reached 100%. I'm letting the rest ride for the 21st today. I will sell it before the end of the day. And the next week, it's a big week again with PAG reporting on the 26th. That's Penske Motors, Paula, Apple, George. And then SAH reports Wednesday, Samuel, Adam, Henry. Both should be worse than Lithia were. So those are plays for next week, but I am updating on where my status is.
Thank you for sharing. Who else has a play to street out there?
I have a play. I'm doing calls on US Steel, ticker X, and I'm doing the spread from 20 to 21.5, expiring at October 28th.
Snap puts.
Snap puts twice today. Nice.
Yeah, Snap's up pre-market. I think that'd be a good chance to grab some Snap puts today for
Got
sure.
snap puts too.
Yeah, I like
get-
snap puts. I like snap puts. I like snap puts.
It's gonna get dragged down by the market.
I like
at
the
large.
eights. I like the eight.
All right, moving on from Snap. What else we got?
I love how when we mentioned Tesla and Elon, everybody lost their shit.
Oh, simple advice. If we had mentioned the towel stock, even more people would lose their shit.
I have some in my back pocket. 420, you didn't put your plays in the comments. We're still
Mike
waiting.
and GM, they got earnings coming out 25th. What is it, 5 o'clock today? They come out with their new EV truck. Looks pretty awesome. So I'm just going to buy some stock.
What was the ticker?
Oh, it's good old GM. GMC, Sierra, Denali. They're announcing it today, the new EV. I think it's 2024 they come out.
All right, we're running down the final countdown here. Final minute. What you got?
Oh, there's a play in the comments. Let's read some. TCDA, CCs and selling puts a month out of this is an IV play. IV is 500. That's 420. TCDA put sell $2.5. Della Hunt. Snap puts, yeah, just some in the comments. Sigma 10 strike puts 2023.
Good luck, everyone.
Hey, we still got time.
Yeah,
We can get one more play.
Go ahead, one more play, guys. Come on.
You wanted to say good luck.
For those of you who are absolutely degenerate, you can still try to buy into GameStop $40 calls October 28 for, I think it's 8 cents or less.
Helicopter, put your game board on WallStreetBets and put the positions, and we will approve it. You had a nice gain on your auto puts. That was a good job, sir.
And don't forget to check out the Twitch and YouTube streams. Hopefully they're working now if you want to watch these back again. Other than that, Hardy, you want to take us out to dinner or out of this call? Oh, he's gone. All right. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Don't lose too much money. Cheers.
Goodbye.